The right has their story and their narrative. For all of the problems in this country, they blame immigrants and trans people, right? That's their story. Now, they're fucking bullshitters and they're lying, and those people are not a problem, but that's their story. Our correct story is trans people are not the problem. Immigrants are not the problem. The problem are the billionaires, the warmongers, and the fascists. If you're not going to stand up to billionaires, warmongers, and fascists, I have no interest in you. The right has their story and their narrative. For all of the problems in this...
It's not a surprise. It shouldn't be a surprise. It shouldn't be a surprise that rich white men don't care about poor black people, period. So they're not high on their list. They're not high on their list.
George,
they're not high.
George,
they're not.
That's
I don't
nonsense.
care if you love me or not.
That's
they're
nonsense.
not high on the conscious or the subconscious list of those people who are in charge of things in this country. The owners, forget these foolish elections. The owners of this country don't care about the poor in general.
The owners of this country. What are we going? What, is this Karl Marx talking to me? The owners of this country are the voters of this country.
You're wrong about that, my friend.
Aren't the owners of this country the voters in this country who elected George Bush?
No, they're not. Listen, politics, these elections are a charade. It is a charade.
Oh, okay.
It is, they are meant to... Well, I'll tell you, listen, just listen for a minute. Learn a little something. The elections and politicians are in place in order to give Americans the illusion that they have freedom of choice. You don't really have choice in this country.
Well, and let me ask you this about the looting. Would you agree that there was two kinds of looting? That there was the kind where people were desperate because they were starving and maybe were taking food out of a store, and then there were some people who were taking stereo equipment.
Yeah.
Would you agree that there was two kinds of looting?
Yeah, people were walking away with television sets.
Hey, would you agree that there was those two kinds of looting?
Yes.
Okay. Well, then is it not wrong for the president to issue an ultimatum that there was zero tolerance and thereby encourage his right-wing flacks in the liberal media to go ahead and say this gives us license to suggest that we shoot people on sight, as if in the middle of this crisis where so many people are dying already, what we need to do is shoot Tyrone because he's getting out of Circuit City with some soggy tweeters. And I think Tyrone always had soggy tweeters, quite frankly.
I have an addendum to that. The real looting in this country takes place in the transfer of the wealth from the poor to the rich. I'm sorry that you don't like class and the truth, my friend, but you're just stuck with it. Class and the poor have been systematically looted in this country. The rich have been made richer under this criminal, fascist president and his government.
The miners! The miners!
What's a little genocide between friends? What's a little... Whoa. What are you playing again for, asshole? Hey, welcome everybody. Welcome to Morgan and to Bob. Hello.
Hey.
Hello.
This is not the objective opinion. I just wanted to do that intro because, it's fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
Homelander only has so much, shelf life left as far as being a meme lord. He's pretty much done for, so.
Some memes live forever, though, right?
True. I mean, just once you see how his final moments, though, it really, it's for one thing, it's very satisfying, but it just kind of ruins the mystique a little bit.
So I don't know anything about The Boys past like the first half of season 2.
Okay.
Other than Elon Musk is very upset about
because they killed a version of him.
Yeah. His spaghetti is very upsetty.
It's a guy who's like all obsessed with space, and he's wearing a black Homelander kind of branded political kind of shirt. And he's a very, very out of shape and schlubby dude too.
Weird. Wonder
So I don't know
what
if
that's
that has
like.
something to do with it, but you know, he's definitely just like fawning over Homelander, trying to get his attention, his approval. And this is after Homelander has, this is literally the last episode. He has killed the president, and Ashley, who was the vice president and was before that was the Vought executive. She just kind of failed her
Sure.
way.
Right, yeah, she's like the coffee girl from like the first season, right?
Yep. No, she's the president in the final episode. It's pretty funny. But like, so this guy's just annoying the shit out of Homelander, and he just kind of goes out onto the patio of the White House with this guy, and then you just see him fly off and then come back a couple seconds later, and they're like, "What did you just do?" And he's like, "Well, he likes space. I took him to space."
Oh.
Which is pretty great. But yeah, you know, spoiler alert for the boys finale. He ends up depowered, which, you know, everybody kind of saw that coming if you watched the season at all. He ends up without his powers, which he's never been before. Ever.
Right.
And he, you know, I actually have a green screen of him trying to. Actually, no, I think I have the scene. We can probably get away with watching some of this, just like a clip of it. It's pretty fun.
Alrighty.
Here we go. Yep.
The
in their last moment.
Oh wait. Here, this is
What?
that's not the one I was trying to. Oh, that's the dude's video. Okay, my bad.
Oopsies.
Here we go.
He's trying to do jumping jacks. What a little sad doll.
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
Oh, yeah.
Shock and awe, my son.
Oopsies.
Blood and fucking bone.
So,
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
Oh, yeah, that's a big old fuck up.
Yeah. You know, it's pretty entertaining. I mean, just a few moments before that on the show, he was sitting at the Resolute desk, live to everybody, just saying, you know, if he feels like it or if he has any question that you were absolutely loving of him and the only one and true God, then he would just fucking, you know, set fire to your entire city. And,
Cool.
He was like, you know, giving some really some threats he was definitely probably going to act on had, you know, the boys been there. Yeah. And then this is I guess the beginning of this video that I had from CHD or whatever his name is a YouTuber that makes some anti-chud content, and I guess
Nice
edit that he did at the beginning of it, where I think he's going to show the lines that Homelander says right at the very end, which is whew.
In their last moments, people show you who they really are. So, in a way, I knew your friends better than you ever did. Would you like to know which of them were cowards?
No. Stop.
Oh boy.
I love you, Liz. Hey, back up. How do you shapeshift beer?
Okay, so all the extra laughing stuff is not part of the show, but it's kind of annoying. But
Well,
yeah,
I'm sure it helps avoid the copyright gremlins.
True. He is definitely making it not the same. But here's the lines here that I was just like, oh wow.
Just tell me. I'll fucking suck your dick. I'll do anything. You want me to eat shit? I'll eat your fucking shit.
What the fuck?
Yep. That's well, you know, and Eric Kripke, who actually I don't think is evil. Actually, I listened to an interview with him, and he talked about how, you know, they all understood, including the actor Anthony Starr, that it was extremely important that, given all of the terrible things we've seen Homelander do over the course of the years, that there would be this moment at the end where it's like he's powerless, and you know, you see that it, like all strong guys in a position of power like that you know. Abuse their power and hurt people and shit like that, and they really underneath it all are just fucking pussies.
Right. It's just
and I read today on some internet website. I really should start keeping track of these things. But an interview where Anthony Starr, or an article where it said the eat shit line was Anthony Starr's idea.
Oh wow.
So, yeah, because he got the call from Kripke to be like, hey man, I know you're really protective of the character. You've been playing it, this certain way, but you need to understand that at the very end he's going to have to be, kind of the opposite. And he's like, oh yeah, absolutely, yeah, that's part of it. And he's like,
I've been looking forward to this.
He contributed the line of "I'll eat your shit."
Oh my god, that's awesome.
Yeah, seemed like a pretty fun thing. There's some spin-offs happening. I saw the trailer for Vought Rising earlier. It looks all right. And then there's apparently I read this and it seemed true. Seemed like it was being reported as a fact that the show, the next one of the next shows is going to follow the son of Homelander, whose name was Ryan. He was a big part of the show throughout the boys.
Sure, yeah, I remember him.
He's now like basically a not grown, if not grown, an older teenager. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And he's very powerful. Same power, or maybe he's not. I don't remember what. Yeah, it didn't really indicate. I don't think, because there was a blast that was supposed to depower anybody in its paths, and it was Butcher, it was Homelander, and it was Ryan. We're all there on the other end of it, but it's not clear if Ryan actually got depowered or not. But apparently the show that's going to follow him is just called The Boy. So
that's funny.
So I'm probably never going to watch the show. It was not. I tried many times. It was not for me.
Yeah.
But the one question I've wanted answered is how the hell are any of the people who oppose Homelander still even alive at the end of the show? What kind of plot armor did they all have? Because I know they started out as normal people.
Hubris.
I don't think that. I mean, there's probably some little examples of plot armor here and there because you have to do that basically with any.
Sure.
For one thing, I'm seeing a lot of alleged fans misunderstand that are pissed off and think that he should have been tearing through cities and stuff like that at light speed. Is like, just because he's a Homelander. I mean, I'm sorry, just because he's a Superman, kind of analog doesn't mean he has all these same powers as Superman.
Right.
And I think some people don't get that, so they just assume he can. Move at fucking, nearly fast as light speed or whatever. And I mean, he's fast. He's very
fast.
Nothing indicates that he's anything like what Superman's depicted in the comics or anything.
Yeah, but funny his power set. He's got the heat, the laser eyes, and he's got the super strength and the invulnerability. So I would see clips over the years of like Billy Butcher. Like one clip that stands out to me is Billy Butcher and Homelander in a football stadium or something, and Billy Butcher's in the audience and he looks up at Homelander and it makes Homelander nervous.
Well, so one thing is so he has, just like in the comics, in the comics sets it up pretty well, and I'm pretty sure the show does too, and I just kind of forgot how, but basically the boys have stuff on the Seven.
Yeah,
they have information, they have evidence of stuff, and there's just kind of, when the comic starts, because I've been reading that, when it opens up, basically they're just now kind of their Cold War is starting to get warm again, where they've had an agreement for several years that the boys would leave them alone as long as they keep their shit together and they don't do anything fucking crazy, and don't fuck with them, because they have dead man switch stuff options for things to go out if and that would ruin Vought. It would ruin Seven. I'm saying, it's like it's just having information on them that they don't want out. And then
I think in the show,
all right, that's all the explanation needed right there. That's plausible.
Yeah.
In the show as well, at least in the first 2 seasons, the Seven have a huge amount of media attention on them, so there's only so much they can get away with in public. Like, they're all evil assholes except for the one gal. But like there's still all these people around that, like, it would be bad for the company and for their public image, because the company is happy to replace them as soon as they are an embarrassment to the executives.
And then Homelander, though, is in the comics and the show a bit of a different case, because everybody's kind of scared of him. You know what I mean? So and that's understandable too, and that kind of adds to the growing, like, what the fuck is he going to do? Because at a certain point, he doesn't care what anybody thinks anymore. He doesn't care what Vought, like, he basically, in the last season, essentially he took over Vought, so he was just the guy.
Yeah, there's no one to answer to.
This season was him taking over the government and being, calling himself God. So but yeah,
Oh, go ahead.
The quote that so a lot of people are, there was some promotional material that had, like post-apocalyptic looking backgrounds where like Homelander's floating up above it and things are on fire, buildings crumbled and stuff like that. And so I think some people apparently believe that we were going to get a season full of just like them in that setting, in like a war kind of setting, like things are just
sure.
I never did expect that, and also I don't think that would have been as exciting as it might seem like. What this did was it showed what Kripke said. I thought was pretty brilliant in an interview. Was he says some people were expecting Berlin 1944, and he wanted to do Berlin 1938.
Sure.
And it's like, okay, that's fucking cool. That's it's a more interesting angle. Like because in the show itself, like this season starts off and there are camps, literal camps where like some of the main characters are in those camps. For a little while, and they are wearing like Homelander branded uniforms and essentially having to do slave labor and crap like that, and they're not allowed to leave. Definitely just concentration camps for dissenters and whatnot. But then outside of that, things are just going on like normal, and that's people. Keep seeing people saying like, oh, it just seemed like there wasn't anything, the stakes weren't real because everything's just kind of normal. And it's like, yeah, man, it's almost like outside your window right now, everything is most kind of normal seeming, except there's stuff that's very specifically different.
Right. Like, it turns out.
There's a famous collection of photographs taken by and of officers at Auschwitz and their families. And they're partying it up.
Yeah.
These are people like who are conducting the murder, the people who exterminated 1 million people in that camp.
And that's the banality
20 miles away.
That was coming.
Banality of evil. 20 miles away, there was a little resort with music and dancing and pools and recreations, and all these photographs are of them laughing it up and having parties, playing with their dogs, decorating Christmas trees, looking completely normal. And if no one told you, hey, these are the people that murdered 1 million Jews in Auschwitz,
right,
you would have no idea. They just look like normal folks.
That's what fascism is. It's not they roll in and just upend every literal part of existence. They roll in and they say, we're going to take control of these specific things. We're going to do these specifically shitty things, and you can just more or less continue to live the life you want to, as long as you don't complain or try and get in the way.
Or you're not in one of the groups we're going to target. Right. Because don't worry, those groups are responsible for all of your problems, you see. So we're helping you.
Now, and it wasn't hard to extrapolate where things would have gone quickly if Homelander had not been stopped when he was, which is then the previous episode they had started doing focus groups of just random people, putting them in there and testing how much they actually believe in Homelander as God, and and then they had all the psychics that they had collected from across the country, all the psychic
supers.
And including almost maybe most of them were like bad guys, like terrible people, right? That were just basically having just examine the people that are doing the focus group stuff, and if they seem like they thought they were lying, then they would mark them, and then they would be executed. And you could see that being kind of expanded across the country, essentially, where Homelander's deeply insecure, and in fact, the more praise he got toward the beginning of the season, the more people started to try and feed him the shit he seemed to want to hear, the more he would hear their heart skipping a beat or whatever, and he would recognize that they're not telling the truth, and he would kill him because it's he's a fucking insecure fascist like that. It's brilliant. Like, dude, I know that he's not going to be there. Nobody's going to nominate any Emmys, and I don't really care about that anyway. But I just hope Anthony Starr gets some other role that is worthy of his talents, because he's fucking great.
Yeah, he's a really good actor. Like, it's hard to play a character that like is compelling and is invincible, and you just want bad things to happen to
and
for 5
seasons. He's a complete monster, but you also are just like, I kind of like this guy. Like, I
he's
mean,
almost like
does, but you like watching him, right?
Yeah, so. he's watchable for sure. Yeah.
Anyway, so I know Bob was not super happy about talking about The Boys again, but
I'm not. It's not that I'm not unhappy at all. I just wasn't expecting it.
But I didn't get to talk about the finale yet, and so I did want to do that. So what are we doing here? I think I'd like to try and maybe do a stream like every week where it's half talking about the shitty things going on.
Yep.
And then half, let's talk about some cool stuff that's going on that we like or we're into or whatever.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a good balance. I feel like that'd be a good way.
I think so
Like,
too.
I realized that not processing the nonstop fucking deluge of bullshit, through not getting on and talking to you guys about it or just talking in chat or and hearing other people talk about it too. I don't know. There's something that was kind of missing in my circuitry.
A level of catharsis you get by having
to have these fucking frustrations validated and shit like that. And
oh, for sure.
Yeah. So I kind of feel like I maybe need to do that again.
That's fair.
So we're working on the title of what it's going to be. You know, something like Doom and Goon is what we've got so far. So you know,
that's my vote.
Is gooning. Literally gooning. We're going to be masturbating later. So.
Oh yeah, it's going to be a mess.
Why do you think my camera's turned off?
He's pre-gaming
because he wants to save the uniform, the costume he's wearing for us. Surprise.
Stay to the end, kids.
So you know, one thing I did want to say is that all this shit with Donald Trump. He's not a good guy. Okay.
No.
But I like to think about the fact that anybody, I don't care who you are, at some point you were just you're just some person. Maybe you weren't. I don't know. You weren't the person you are now, even if you're a big piece of shit. So I started kind of trying to extend a little empathy and humanity to Donald Trump, even though he wouldn't do that for me. And I was like, what was he like in the 90s? You know? What was he like?
Give up forever. Know that you feel me somehow. You're the closest
everybody has a best friend.
that I'll ever be.
You know what's funny is I hate this song, so it just makes it even better. Like perfection.
There are so many great 90s songs,
and that's not one of them.
Not one of them. But it is nonetheless an iconic 90s song.
Yes.
That's different than being good.
Yes. Perfect for this video. Quality shit post.
Y'all say it's not a good song. I feel like I think about the broad you know 90s music that I know exists, and I think that's got to be in the camp of like at least it's not like the Macarena or you know something like that, right? Where there's some pure dog shit pop music in the 90s.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. That song is peak. It is peak 90s rock.
Mm-hmm.
Derogatory.
Good.
Yeah. It is peak
90s rock. I mean, like Nirvana and Alice in Chains is also not 90s rock, and so I just don't feel like that really.
Well, that's good rock. Okay. Like there was a certain kind, like in every decade, there's a certain kind of rock music that's just really corporate.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And that's what that song is. And it captures like everything that was going on in music at that time and puts it in that song.
Well, because
it does all of it badly.
Giant thing in the 90s too. Like it was already a big thing, radio, but in the 90s in particular, that's where it started becoming like a mega corporate, you know, network of you know, you had your Clear Channel or whatever it's called, started buying up everything, and so that's when. What's
Sketchy up here defending the honor of the Macarena.
That is not wrong, right? Okay. Again, there's a difference between being iconic and being good.
That's fair. That's fair.
You know?
I'm glad the Macarena has a soldier out there. Like,
yes.
Salute to you, sir.
You know who Justin Jones is?
Nope, never heard the name in my life.
He's
I love this guy.
Representative in state representative of Tennessee, I believe it is. So recently, whenever they did their very racist bullshit that they did, the GOP there.
Yeah, we're just Jim Crowing again.
I just wanted to show this little clip here because I think it's fucking just so awesome. This is you're going to see Justin Jones, and he comes and plants something on. I don't know who the fucking white guy is, but he's clearly a Republican there.
Farmer moves adoption of committee amendment number 1. Probably second. Any discussion on the amendment? Seeing none. All those in favor of committee amendment number 1 say aye. Aye. All those opposed say no. The ayes have it. You adopted next amendment. Seeing none. All those.
What a.
Chairman Farmer moves adoption of committee amendment number 1. Probably second. Any discussion on the amendment? Seeing none. All those in favor of committee amendment number 1 say aye. Aye. All those opposed say no. The ayes have it. You adopted next.
That's funny.
This guy, Justin Jones, the two Justins from Tennessee are just fucking awesome. Both
Are
remember
they
when
the
they
two
were,
who were like thrown out of the representative house
Yep.
there?
They were
and then
locked
got
out.
Yeah.
like recently when there's a picture going around right now, a photograph of the other Justin Pearson, the one with the big afro,
Sure.
standing at the door to the
Okay.
chamber that he's been elected to serve in, and a white, I think it may be another white assembly member or a security guard, I forget which, but is blocking the door and like basically smirking at him.
Wow, what a piece of shit.
Like you ain't getting in here, right? And those two are just like, it's like listening to them speak, especially when they're doing a prepared speech, is like watching history.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, because they both come from the tradition of black church preaching, so there's a certain cadence and performance to that they evoke when they do that, and
that's rad.
It feels like you're watching footage from the 1960s.
Oh, yeah. The more things change,
and terrifying.
Right.
That it's still necessary for us to have that, but it's inspirational that we have people who are doing that.
Yeah.
Yep. So I want to make sure everybody's seen this, just so you know, these people are fucking, it's fucking, goddamn it, man. These people.
Do my job right. Right. So the value to society and civilization from my for-profit companies will be much, much larger, right, than the good that I do with my charitable giving. And I think this is an important point to make, because people forget, or they sometimes.
It's interesting because it's like an insight into like, oh, how does their stupid fucking, money-addled brain work? Like they.
Timu Lex Luthor, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
He's not even Timu Lex Luthor. He's like Alibaba Lex Luthor.
And like,
he's eBay.
Too. It's like he's saying something so fucking, I doubt that it's as true as he's saying it. Even if it is what he's saying, there is any facts to it. Like, it doesn't discount the exploitation and the harm that is being caused. It doesn't discount the fucking dead employee on the fucking floor.
Right.
But he was forced to walk around them and shit.
Yeah. And make no mistake, what Craigslist Lex Luthor is saying here is complete bullshit. Like, we live in one of the greatest times of wealth inequality in the history of this country, maybe the world.
Yeah.
And there is science on this. There's political and social science on this. Societies where resources are more equally distributed have lower crime.
Yeah.
Lower, even of crimes like domestic violence.
Right.
And things like that. Like, everything is better when you don't have billionaires. So this guy is just talking out his ass.
And here's the thing. Okay, so you don't want to pay taxes, Dollar General Lex Luthor. You could pay your employees more money and hire more people to work less aggressive shifts, and you would still be so rich you would never notice a difference.
Yeah.
Except that people wouldn't be leaving piss bottles when you go to the art show.
And what he's also overlooking here is that the arguments he's making were the same ones made by the previous generation of robber barons, like J.P. Morgenthau and Henry Ford and so forth. But those guys invested in infrastructure, and
libraries,
the
and
arts,
education,
and libraries and shit,
yeah,
for totally selfish reasons.
Right,
but
absolutely.
they built things that served the rest of society, and this fucker is not doing that.
No,
none of these fuckers are doing that.
No.
Yeah. He goes on to say some. Let me continue playing this, because he says a couple of dumb things here. I think it's in this clip. I hope so.
Don't see that when you create something like Amazon and you're saving. I get letters from new mothers all the time that say, like, I have no idea what I would be doing right now if I didn't have Amazon. Thank you. Or what we did in the pandemic when people could really see what an essential service we provided to them. And so, this is Amazon creates tremendous value. And by the way, all companies are creating value of some kind.
That's not the clip that I thought it was. The one where he says Trump is this term compared to his first term, Trump is more mature, more measured.
Oh God, yeah, I saw that clip.
Like, bro, you don't like. What are you trying to get at him right now? Because that is, you know, that's not true. You know, it's not.
Good gravy. Goodwill Justin Hammer. Listen the fuck up.
We do have a solidarity, breaking solidarity amongst the billionaires, though.
Your company creates value with or without you.
That's true.
Your
don't
workers
do shit.
Your workers create the value.
Your workers create the value.
Man, I've been watching some clips of Graham Plattner lately, and that dude is just straight. He's like Mom Donnie if he was Mom Donnie was trying to start fights on a regular basis. Is basically what Graham Plattner comes off as. Like,
yeah,
he's saying it a little bit more, aggressively and like, "Fuck you, dude," attitude. Like, I'm right, bitch.
Yeah, and Mamdani dumped all his points in charisma, and Plattner distributed them more evenly among strength, constitution, and charisma.
That's true.
Not wisdom.
Those
though.
of us that live in California are reviewing
wisdom,
the billionaire's tax. The question that a lot of people submitted to me to ask you is, how does that impact that talent pool and the industry and Silicon Valley? Is it something that's of concern to you, or it is not?
I gotta tell you, I haven't thought about it even once. We work in Silicon Valley because that's where the talent pool is, and we have offices all over the world wherever there's talent. We have offices. We have office in Germany. We have office in all over the world, and so we chose to live in Silicon Valley, and whatever taxes I guess they would like to apply, so be it. I mean, I'm perfectly fine with it. It never crossed my mind once.
So this is a liberal billionaire.
Mm-hmm. Well,
that's a Democratic Party billionaire right there.
Yeah. He's still in bed with Palantir.
Donated to the ballroom, and apparently he works with Palantir as well. So,
well, I think it's more that like everybody works with NVIDIA.
Yeah.
Because when it comes to GPUs, which is a lot of the stuff that Palantir needs, the NVIDIA is the main game in town. So
that's true.
He's an arms dealer in cyber warfare.
So this I've been dooming out a lot. I'm trying not to, but I've been edge dooming. Thinking about billionaires and how, like the kind of shit, like seeing that clip, the other clip that I didn't actually have of Bezos saying that shit. Like I know he doesn't believe that. Like he's not stupid. He's not possibly think that the guy who's started a war with Iran that he can't fucking get out of, despite and just
having the ability to get out of it whenever he wants.
You just guys go, anytime. We made a mistake. We're gonna stop now. Sorry.
Declare victory and stop. Just go. We won, guys. We're going home. You know what? The mega shit eaters will continue to eat shit.
No, check it out. He's not another Fetterman, dude. That's not what he is. He's not another Fetterman. Fetterman, if you look at his record before he got on anybody's radar, we should have done a little bit more diligence on Fetterman.
Fetterman had the benefit of running against Dr. Oz.
True.
Yeah.
And as absolutely dog water as Fetterman has been, he's not Dr. Oz. Oh, shit.
Right.
Like
Fetterman was, this is what a lot of people don't get about Fetterman. He was always this way.
Yeah.
There was no time in Fetterman's career when he was not a crazy anti-immigrant Zionist. He has always been that. You can trace his political record back decades. If you go back the same amount of time in Plattner's background, you will find him shit posting about communist revolution in favor of it, which comes with a whole set of other problems. But he is not a secret Nazi. He's not he's not a Zionist waiting to happen. He's just a dumb, drunk Marine who got a little wiser when he got older. That's it.
So I mean, you got to think about this. Fox News has been doing hit pieces on him. New York Times did a hit piece on him.
Yeah.
If that's the case, there's something there, in my opinion. Like, I'm not if you have both New York Times, the liberal fucking bastion New York Times,
liberal,
both trying to go at him. You know what Fox News discovered about him?
What did they discover?
Some really fucked up stuff, actually. That they dug through his, I guess, old deleted Reddit posts. They keep going there for stuff.
Oh yeah.
So at one point when he was in the military, and he told people about this on Reddit, he masturbated in a bathroom and was talking about some of the graffiti on the wall.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, that's a deal breaker. I can abide Nazi tattoos, but masturbation is off the table. Sorry.
Right. I mean, it's literally like, dude, the dude jacked off while he was in the fucking Marines. Are you kidding me? Like,
Marine jacked off. What?
That's like
I would be more concerned if he had it.
Marine, protocol kind of thing.
Let me address this comment too. Now, I'll start by saying I get it. Blackwater's an evil corporation, but it is important to look at what he was doing when he worked there, because Blackwater does a lot of stuff. And part of the problem with a thing like Blackwater is that private industry is increasingly being given the duties that the government used to do, just so that the government can skirt Congress. But what Plattner was doing when he worked for Blackwater was serving as a bodyguard for diplomats. He wasn't a mercenary. He wasn't out there like murdering children. That's what he did when he was a soldier in Iraq.
Good point, man. Right. That actually does. I mean, because I was just willing to accept that he probably was doing whatever shitty things that they do, and that was part of what his waking up to how fucked the system was.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And he's talked about how he went back into that because it was basically the only work he could find at the time.
Right. That's another thing
for him to do anything else.
Is a lot of people who went into the service during Iraq and Afghanistan got out and couldn't land a gig that wasn't either shit pay or something like a Blackwater.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, the evil people are the ones, running the companies at a certain point. Like, I don't know that I'm going to release my ire on someone who was just collecting a paycheck, especially one who was just doing bodyguard work.
And he's also said, if these things are deal breakers for you, don't vote for me. And
it was for me. I mean, of course, I'm not voting for him anyway, so I'm not
voting for him.
I can't vote for him.
But back whenever the Totenkopf tattoo thing came out, I was like, "What the fuck, dude? Yeah, I can't. That's weird. I can't do it. I can't get behind that guy." But like as time went on, and then I heard him explain things more, and then I heard a different because a lot of the perspectives at that point was trying to, and this is what my perspective was: is how can you not recognize that that's what that is? And then I started thinking like, would I have, if I saw that in the wild before about 5 years ago when I started really focusing on fascism, right? Would I have known that that's what it was? I don't think so. And so, I could see myself being in not being in the Marines really, but like, put myself in a position of going out with some buddies. We go to a fucking tattoo shop drunk and we go, hey, that's cool looking skulls. Let's get some skulls. And,
right.
And I don't know. But like this kind of clip is what works for me.
Small town.
Yep.
Didn't graduate college, became a bartender.
Yep.
But also your father was an attorney.
Yep.
Your grandfather was a Cornell educated architect,
Yep.
quite well known. I mean, how do you think about class? Is working class how you grew up or how you live now? Like how do you, because you grew up, you're describing it as solidly middle class.
I think the difference today,
and you make your, in your pitches, I'm of the working class now. I work with my hands.
Yeah, and I am. I mean, I work with my hands. I don't make a lot of money. My wife and I work incredibly hard, and we probably make like $60,000 a year combined. We don't have money left.
Bro, like, I mean, yeah, and a lot of people should do a lot of things perfectly, but they don't.
They don't.
Right.
Yeah.
And he put the tattoos on his body while he was drunk. Not while he was sober.
And he was also on shore leave while he was out. Literally, he was deployed at the time. And like, I mean, that's not the kind of thing. That's like you have some time to yourself with your buddies, and before you have to get back out in fucking whatever god awful uncomfortable situation you're in that you're having to fight for your life and stuff. And so yeah, you fucking make rash decisions when you're fucking drunk as shit.
Well, look, the bottom line for the stuff like the tattoos, etc., is that voting is not a referendum on the personality or character of the candidate. It is a referendum on the policies that the candidate is going to advance. If you, it is not you. It should not be you expressing your personal like or dislike of something they did in their past. You have to look at their policy platform and whether they have a record of pushing that policy platform and being willing to fight for it. And that's what you should vote on.
If he was a guy who actually did, if he turned out around and said, whenever that came out, if he was like, you know what? Yeah, man, for a brief time, I was part of a fucking neo-Nazi group. And I really regret that. And it's, it's part of my past. And it's one of the things that informs my, journey now. And one of the things that I recognize that I'd be like, oh, okay. I'd be down with that. I'd be fucking, I would probably have trusted it more immediately than I would the whole, like, wait, you didn't know? But like, anyway, what were you going to say, Morgan?
So to put it in some broader political perspective and run a hypothesis here, let's say he was running in a primary, against Gavin Newsom. We know, okay, let's say he knew it was a Nazi symbol when he got it, over a decade ago.
Yeah.
What has his positions been since then? What have we seen from him? What have we heard from him? How has he run his business? How has he behaved in public before he was looking at running for office? Let's look at Gavin Newsom.
He doesn't have any Nazi tattoos
right now, right? He's sucking off Ben Shapiro. He's saying he's in lockstep with Charlie Kirk.
He's saying that
Charlie Kirk
he's
can't
not
even
interested
say.
at all in any billionaire taxes.
Right. He's not interested in that. He's walked back Medicare for all in his state. He's been very, very anti-homeless, gone out and done like PR stunts, kicking over homeless camps. Like,
and
where is our energy going?
And the thing with Plattner is you look at his public record, like his shit posting and all that stuff.
Yeah.
If this guy is a secret Nazi, he's been playing a very long game, because 20 years ago, before he thought he would ever going to run for political office, he was posting about socialist revolution and stuff like advocating for stuff like that. So secret Nazis don't do that.
Are you saying that making youthful dumb young person choices when you're military have the same kind of thing, like with your long-term policy proposals? Like, what the fuck are you saying, man?
We learned, like, we were all in our 20s at some point, and we all did shit we regret.
I have 3 tattoos. I have 3 tattoos that I fucking embarrassed that I still have them. They're nothing fucking racist or whatever, but they're ones that, like, they're not finished or they're like a stupid design or whatever, and I haven't got anything done with them. And it's like
a Snoopy tattoo, isn't it?
Yeah. Siblings. If social media had existed when I was a teenager and in my 20s, I could not show my face in public right now. I'm just saying, But so Plattner's narrative about himself, and you can buy this or not, but it is what he's saying, is that when I use the word I'm speaking in the voice of Graham Plattner here. His story is, I used to be much stupider than I am now, and I made some very dumb choices that if I had to do them over again, I wouldn't, but we are where we are.
Yeah.
And I am a changed man now. And as evidence for that, I put forward my activities in the last, 5 or 6 years or whatever. And I ask you to evaluate me on the basis of that change and not a single moment in time from when I was.
Let's look at it real practically here, because none of us can vote for him. So it doesn't matter what we really think in that regard. It doesn't matter if we that. What matters that I decided to start following anyway and seeing what's going on is because he, like Mom Donnie, is a potential bellwether of where things are going to go. If this guy can unseat Susan Collins, which it seems like he might be able to, that's pretty fucking cool. It's like literally just a microcosm example of what we need to happen throughout the country. Of some person that has very clear and fucking direct, working class and poor people and anti-fascist and anti-racist fucking ideals that's going to just like go head on at all these motherfuckers that are ruining our country and ruining our lives and world. And we need that to happen all over the country and to go after these old people that are literally dying in their fucking Senate seats and shit.
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
because that's the governor of Maine, who is, I think, in her 80s or late 70s, was running against him, and she was the party's preferred candidate. And she dropped before the primary because he was
because he
so
was doing
far
so well.
ahead.
yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Your choice is not between Graham Plattner, if you're living in Maine, your choice is not between Graham Plattner and a better candidate to his left. Your choice is between Graham Plattner and a fucking fascist, a
Right.
real fascist, not a person who got a dumb tattoo choice when he was drunk and in his 20s. So you should always vote for the leftmost candidate on the ballot, regardless of what you think of them personally, because voting is an exercise of political power, not a referendum on your personal feelings about that person.
And I would also say that this also is an example of letting the media cycle kind of overwhelm you.
That's what I was getting at. Yeah, was that
And just become more about like, oh, the things that you're happening to see because the algorithms and because people are pushing that. And it's always important to kind of step back and ask yourself how much of this is like organic, how much of this is worth paying attention to, and should I be making any, I don't know.
Yeah, how much are you paying attention to this versus if there's someone running for Senate in your state or governor? Because a lot of governorships are up during the off presidential years is when a lot of governors cycle through. What do you know about that race? What do you know about your representative race?
I get some water. I'll be right back.
Yeah, sure. Like we all hear about Graham Plattner in the media, but like he's in Maine.
Yeah, what's going on in your state, right?
What's
like I'm in California. Our fucking election is a goddamn clusterfuck.
Oh yeah,
we have a primary system here where there's no party primaries. There's just one primary.
Right.
Anyone of any party can run in it, and the two people who come out on top will be the ones we vote for or against in the general election, which means we could end up in
with
principle
two Republicans.
With two MAGA Republicans.
Right.
And we have no choice of stopping that otherwise.
Right.
It doesn't look like that's going to happen, but in principle, that could have happened. And it's a stupid way to run an election, in my opinion. So the DSA endorsed candidate out here is a billionaire, Tom Steyer.
Right.
Which is weird. That's California for you, right?
That's California. Yeah.
But his policy platform is the most progressive. It is the most detailed. He has made the most concrete explanations of what he wants to do, and all the other candidates are speaking in platitudes.
Right.
And almost all, I think all of the other Democratic candidates are against universal health care. Javier Becerra is against universal health care. He's against Medicare for all. He will work with ICE. So,
well, fuck him.
He's off the table for me.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about Tom Steyer, but we'll see who we end up with.
Right.
In the California general election. But right now, Tom Steyer is the least shitty Democrat running.
Right.
Policy-wise.
Well, yeah, the Republicans in Wisconsin have they've done this the last few elections. Because our governor for the last decade now, Tony Evers, he's done. He's getting old and he is doing the wise thing and moving on, and he's done a lot to fight Republicans who've controlled majorities in both of our legislature houses. I think when he got in, it was a supermajority in one of them too. So just the worst shit. But he's retiring because he's getting up there in age. And the Democrats have a huge. Last I looked, it was still 8 people in the primary, and the primary is in August. I'm still trying to figure out because I'm in Wisconsin and I've donated politically before, so all of them are blowing up my email and phones, kind of nonstop asking for money, and I've got to try and narrow down between which of you assholes looks like you're going to even be in the primary when we get that far. So yeah, it's learn your local elections because they're important. And they're more honestly into your life. They are more important than Graham Plattner, unless you live in Maine.
Yeah, and even if you live in Maine,
yeah,
the
also look at the rest
your
of those
local
elections.
Your local city council has a bigger impact on your life than your senator does.
Yes.
So focus your efforts there.
Like one of the school boards in the Wisconsin area has made national news the past 2 weeks now, because the high school symphony was gonna play a piece that was written in memory of Stonewall, and the school board blocked them from playing it because this is one of those school boards that like Act Red and a bunch of these like Moms for Liberty groups got involved in taking over and gutting the school.
So that's another way to, we're wanting to talk about other stuff too. So I want to get through.
Yeah, get through it.
Get through the clip. Yeah.
Clip is shit.
Well, this one, we don't really need because I wasn't planning on watching this stuff, but
sure.
This clip is funny though. I just wanted to share it because it's it's kind of neat.
Always in a suit.
Okay.
I'm a suit guy now. This is it. I'm in my suit era. I think we already established that. Part of the reason why is because I'm in a suit all the time is because, moms and dads are watching. 2 reasons. 1, it makes my head look bigger. Number 2, a lot of conservatives come in here to watch lately to see what's going on. And as a chatter correctly pointed to, wearing a suit, basically like lingerie for old conservative ladies. Yeah, they love that shit. Gets them horny. And in their horny moment, they just are a lot more receptive to what I have to say. This is how we spark the revolution, ladies and gentlemen. This is how we do it.
Antifa wine moms, rise up.
He's clearly a problem that we need to fucking talk about how terrible he is all the time.
Well, this is one of those, just sort of circling back to the stuff you're talking about with Plattner, right? Like the media wants us talking about this guy. And yeah, he's a big streamer, but like what political power does he have?
Well,
apparently a lot.
You see a pattern where it's like if you see the media and people talking about somebody like Plattner or Piker or whoever, and they're saying saying what they believe, but they're not actually showing you anything from that person.
Right.
Pretty good indicator. You should probably not listen to what they're saying and go seek it out. That person out yourself.
Yeah. Verify.
Kind of like the inverse almost of what they did with or they did a similar thing with Charlie Kirk.
Yeah.
Where they were like, oh no, he's they weren't sharing any videos of him saying, any of the videos that we've all seen go viral and stuff like that. The clips that we know of, whenever he died, it was like just a bunch of
the amount of like normies I know who like saw the big hubbubaloo they made about him dying, and then they looked the guy up and they watched clips of him like, oh, what?
Yeah,
this guy.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Charlie Kirk, I did have one more boys thing I wanted to just mention because it's fun.
That's probably a good transition to the gooning half of the show.
Well, I guess so. Then I won't talk about the stuff that the bulk of what I was going to say. But that's
we tangent too close to the sun.
It's whatever. So, if spoiler for the boys finale again, the Deep, the character of the Deep, he very befittingly was seemingly impaled through his butt, but the tentacle came out his mouth by an octopus. After Starlight beat the shit out of him and knocked him into the ocean, where he had been told in no uncertain terms by a Samuel L. Jackson voiced shark that that he's not welcome there anymore because he's responsible for a fish genocide. Because Homelander told him to go, make this deal with this pipeline that was going to whatever, and the pipeline got fucking destroyed and a bunch of fish died. So they were like, you're not welcome in a puddle anymore. You know what I mean? That's like Aquaman getting kicked out of the ocean. So he got knocked into the water, and then he gets impaled and whatnot. Nonetheless, at some point after that, a fan account had tweeted something in referencing what had happened to the Deep, and Yeah.
Uh-oh.
So the top one is that, where but the boys retweeted it. So the boys' official account retweeted this. Source tells me Deep is stable. Please God. And then it's the exact same thing that Tim Pool said.
Oh no! Oh no!
And so Chuds are all upset about this too. Like they're upset about the Trump stuff. They're upset about it's like, God, you guys are really sensitive.
I remember when they called everybody snowflakes. Is everything they do just a confession?
They wanted to be the ones that could be the snowflakes. They just wanted the
They just
the cultural
really
power.
wanted to melt. Melty children.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yes.
you're right, Morgan. Like the normie people, when the Charlie Kirk thing happened and saw the government trying to make him a martyr, when they looked him up, people who had no idea who he was, almost everyone I know who looked him up who had not known who he was before were like, fuck this guy. What is wrong with these people?
Right.
Someone I know was like a apolitical coworker was like apolitical on the right. Not like a,
Not like how
out.
we make fun of apolitical people, but like actually
Right.
doesn't. Yeah.
Just does not give a shit. Just a white guy.
Yeah.
And like he died and was like, what the fuck? Who is this guy? And then like now he is like all the way on the left. He has gone on a journey thanks to Charlie Kirk.
Well, let's you know what? Let's do we'll do a sandwich. How about that? We can talk
Sure.
for a moment about the stuff that we're into. Because I did want to get, if possible. We don't have time really.
Get it off your chest. Get it off your chest. Just go.
Well, I mean,
go
there's a
ham.
video I wanted to watch that's a few minutes long about disillusionment.
Sure,
and then
go for
also
it.
I wanted to talk about some of this Ashley St. Clair stuff. And I guess we can
Let's
wait
do it.
since her interview is supposed to come out Sunday.
Yeah, let's wait till the interview drops and circle back around. Maybe we'll do a live stream on it.
The disillusionment video sounds cool though.
Yeah, let's check that out.
That has broader and longer value. It's less specific.
This definitely spoke to. I saw it and it was like, man, this is the perfect thing to pop up in my feed. I was feeling this, and it really helped solidify how I needed to frame my kind of general malaise. And for just long story short, it's been hard for me to focus on content or anything because when I started making content, it was because I believed that it was possible to make the world better. And I've gotten less convinced of that over the years, and to the point where I'm just like, it just feels like masturbatory sometimes not to do. I love talking to you guys, love to get on stream and chatting, but like sitting down and focusing on making some content, like
it's hard
and stuff. It's just like, I don't know. And I don't like to tell that to the audience because I don't want anybody to think like take that my shitty attitude and adopt it or anything. So
no, adopt my shitty attitude.
The only reason I'm willing to talk about it now is because I think I've found a better way to view it. So check this guy out.
All right.
The other day for a really terrific podcast. It's coming up. It's called United She Stands. I've been thinking about hope merchants, the civic street pushers selling low-grade sedation to an American public that knows that our engine is smoking but desperately wants to be told it's just missed. This morning, I opened an email from someone telling me they are disillusioned with it all. And not 20 minutes later, while grabbing coffee, I was stopped by someone who recognized me and said exactly the same thing. Every morning, in my inbox, in interviews, in conversations with people who stop me in airport terminals and those little purgatories outside lecture halls, that same word keeps showing up. Disillusioned. They're watching a president take whatever he wants and dare anyone to blink, while the professional institutionalists whose job it is to stop him answer with solemn homilies about norms in the next election cycle. Hey folks, I'm Tad Sturmer, and I'm the author of A Resistance History of the United States. I know what they mean. They mean they're exhausted, that they feel rolled, that something they took for solid concrete turned out to be made of smoke and 4th of July bunting. They realize that the country that they were sold in school and on PBS doesn't look anything like the one they actually have to live in now. The problem isn't the people, though. That's not even the word, at least not how they mean it. To be disillusioned isn't a breakdown. It is, well, strictly speaking, to be freed from a lie. The prefix is a kind of a reversal. Illusion comes from the Latin, which I'm not about to pronounce, but it means to play upon, to mock, to make a sport of someone or something. An illusion is a thing that plays you. To be disillusioned is simply the moment the trick stops working and you finally see the magnet holding the coin in midair. And the sensation is usually miserable because nobody likes learning that the public faith they built their life on was never engineered to carry that weight. But that misery isn't a malfunction. How you feel is not a fiction. It's just what a dying belief feels like on its way out the door. What so many of you are actually grieving isn't just the sudden arrival of truth, but the loss of a fiction that spared you from having a look at the machinery. And right now, the market of American civics is flooded with fictions. The lies keep coming fast and cheap, most of them just recycled. The American problems naturally correct themselves over time. That we're so star-spangled great that the courts will just hold on its own, by which people usually mean some judge will save them from having to fight. That our institutions are built to protect us, by which they mean the mediocrities running them will magically turn out to deserve their titles and deference. And that progress is baked into the geography if decent people just vote and wait their turn. None of that means courts and elections don't matter. I mean, they matter immensely. They have just never, not in America, mattered the way the hope merchants need you to believe. The mainstream establishment, mostly on the Democratic side these days, has exactly one product left on the shelf: faith in the system. And they're hawking it hardest at the precise moment a rapacious executive is proving there is absolutely nothing underneath it. They preach it daily. They dress it up as history, and the pitch never ever changes. The institutions will protect you if you just stay patient, stay polite, and keep writing checks to the people doing the preaching. They sell the courts and the ballot as self-correcting engines whose natural output is justice. Just wait for it. It'll come eventually. But judges rule or they don't, and politicians act or they don't, and which way they go has never been a matter of institutional national conscience. It turns entirely on whether the people on the outside make the status quo more expensive to keep than to abandon. Power does not concede to decency. It concedes to leverage. The alternative is civics sold as a scented candle, one of the great sedatives of American political culture.
I mean, so it's, you know, it's a few minutes long video. What do you guys think so far?
Yeah, I dig it. The line, power does not concede to decency, it concedes to leverage, is the take-home point right there.
That's what I've taken away so far. That's the big line.
Yeah, I like the way you know, he's both using you know, kind of a prosy language and also just cutting through bullshit at the same time. It's pretty impressive.
I do love the etymology, like taking the etymology of disillusion to be like, no, this is actually a good thing.
Yeah.
It's a process, though. You got to work your way through it. You don't trust the process, you work through the process.
Yep. It is, and whenever I started thinking about it, it does remind me a bit of, you know, and I've said this before about online leftists that piss me off, that they remind me of, you know, a lot of this atheist community whenever I was first kind of in that.
Yeah.
There's this attitude that develops that's like this, you know, it's built on a valid, you know, anger of realizing that you'd been snowed and that your society is fucking built on just kind of the dumbest shit ever. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And the most harmful shit that possibly could be, you know, and when you come to that realization, whether it's in religion or political, you know, context, it's like it can be, you know, I was pretty fucking angry for several years. And you know, let that guide my my view on things, and it was a short view as well. So whenever I, you know, started realizing it with you know, it's like I understood all the things that we're seeing play out. Like, I'm not surprised by anything. It's only just it you know, I started learning about you know, the ills of capitalism and stuff probably 2019, around right before I started my channel. And then I started getting a crash course just by watching a bunch of, you know, creators and meeting creators and stuff like that. And then, you know, then COVID happened, and just everything since then has been just this constant, like, you know, all that stuff you've been learning about, you know, you're gonna see it fucking you're gonna see the guts, you're gonna see the skin's gonna ripped off, you're gonna see the skeleton and whatnot. And it's you know, it's
It sucks.
Kind of, it feels so inevitable that that's what I've gotten to. Is just like, I guess it's just how it's going to all go down.
Yeah, I feel like my parents when it comes to like I'm the parent and politics is my child. I'm not mad. I'm just really disappointed. Right?
Yeah, I'm too old to be angry at it like that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm still angry about specific things, but
hold on to anger as a primary, thing. It's like I did with religion, but
righteous anger is a force for good in the world, and we should never abandon that, but we can't stay there all the time. But you were saying about learning about how capitalism works, right? And that's why I'm not surprised by any of this either.
Actually, is what I should say. How it doesn't work.
Yeah, how it doesn't work. And I think what a lot of Americans are getting an education in right now is that capitalism and white supremacy are intrinsically linked. You cannot defeat one without the other. And we've lived with the illusion that the capitalism kind of developed in a vacuum. It's like the weather, the economy is like the weather. And the people who are fighting the hardest to preserve capitalism are also the ones fighting the hardest to preserve white supremacy, because they see the demographic shift coming, and they understand, the billionaires understand, that they can't protect one system without protecting the other.
Yep.
And that goes for the other prejudices too, transphobia, homophobia.
Even conservative religion, right, is the same. Preserving the system of power is also. I refer to people talk about no war but class war. It's like, well, part of the problem is like there's a whole class, there's whole layers of classes in between you and the people at the top, and amongst them is the priest class, and that just isn't the guy at the pulpit on Sunday. That's your Tucker Carlsons, your Ben Shapiro's.
It's like I think that's true in the sense that they don't mean it. Like, I think it's true that, that is ultimately, that is the war, right? But that'd be like saying, in World War II, being like, we're just going to fight the Nazis. We're not going to worry about what the Japanese are doing, like, or whatever. Like,
or vice versa.
You have to, this is a multi-front thing, and they're working together in tandem. This is happening because they are in league, and even if we could get past push past capitalism, the first thing that the capitalists, the former capitalists that want to get back to being the capitalists, the first thing they would do is trot out these old fucking weapons, these divisions, and we'd be right back at it. Like, that's why you can't just push past the racism and the anti-LGBTQ hate and everything and just go, as soon as we get everybody socialism, we're gonna be all right, guys.
Well, and I think there's no greater proof of that than the Palantir executive who, in his manifesto the other week, talked about how he wanted a return to 1940s Germany and Japan. He recognizes that racism and militarism go hand in hand with his business model, his capitalism.
And that is because hierarchy is what it's all about. And that's where capitalism plays, capitalism needs hierarchy, as does fascism and control, authoritarian government. And then you start breaking down what that looks like, when it comes to different types of people. And essentially, if you and that's why I've always kind of felt like trans people are the that's a weird way to say it, but the final boss for fascists, for conservatives, because it's like trans people represent like they're essentially just the utter destruction of their fucking bullshit hierarchy in some ways. Does that make sense? Like,
it does.
Because it shows that it calls everything into question that they take for granted. Not only take for granted, but it's like the foundation of the way they view themselves in the world. Just a trans person existing is like a fucking rebuke of that.
Well, and you even look at how they treat trans conservatives as part of that, because like Caitlyn Jenner did an interview recently about how like her passport got invalidated.
Yep.
And like,
poor thing.
She tried to go like through her connection to Trump to like get him to fix it, and like crickets. And it's just like, well, girl, what do you think was going to happen?
Yeah. The Reagans did the same thing to Rock Hudson.
Yep.
And he was dying. And this is like a more extreme case because he was dying of AIDS. But he had been lifelong friends with them. And they knew he was gay. This was, you know, Rock Hudson was in the closet, I think, his entire life. He may have come out at the very end, but they all knew he was gay. And he thought they were his friends. And he reached out to them while Reagan was the president. And I forget specifically what help he was asking for, but Rock Hudson was living in Europe at the time.
Access some doctor that was out of the country or something like that. But
and
like
he asked
also after the you know, the epidemics kind of popped off to where, like, you know, and Reagan's whole literal approach to that was just pretend it's not happening. You know, don't even
let them die.
Yeah. And so like Ronald Reagan and Nancy Reagan specifically, understand now, Reagan and Rock Hudson were colleagues in Hollywood. These men had been in movies together. They were lifelong friends.
Reagan probably banged some well alongside Hudson, you know?
Maybe. But the point is, when Rock Hudson reached out to his lifelong friend, Ronald Reagan, the president of the United States, for help in getting access to medical care that could have saved his life from HIV, Reagan was like, nah, bro, sorry. It's not helpful to me. I'm not going to do that for you. They actually said that to him out loud.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that that's why I always want to sit with, even though it's not my place because I'm not a member of the community, but I want to sit with queer conservatives and be like, bro, sis, sibling, what do you think these people are going to do to you?
Right. If you get everything you're asking for, how long does your life look in that?
Yeah.
I feel like it's a self-hatred thing. I mean, that's the kind of cliche answer, but like that's what I kind of come to, is like they don't want to see themselves as
I think it's that and fear. They're hoping to protect themselves.
Yeah.
Right.
But I mean, wouldn't the easiest thing to do to protect yourself to not live out in the open about it? I mean, I don't know.
I think you also have the Dave Rubin thing where, like, you think money and prestige and access will help you.
Yeah.
And
then Ben Shapiro tells you to your face that he's not going to come to your fucking kid's party, whatever it was. Like.
And now all the people in Ben Shapiro's circle, you know, how many of them have turned on him the last few years since October 7th?
Yeah. I want to circle back to the there is no war but class war thing.
Yeah.
Because the word class is doing a lot of heavy lifting there.
Mm-hmm.
And what you said is valid. A lot of the people who say online, there is no war but class war, are trying to erase or not deal. They're trying to compartmentalize or stovepipe different intersections of oppression. However, the material reality is that the working class is multicultural, multigender, multi-religious, multi-ethnic,
and always has been all the way down. And so once you understand that, the motto, there is no war but class war, can make sense. It all hinges on what you understand class to mean, because in a class analysis, there's only two classes, the working class and the capitalist class. And the difference between them is which one is the boss, who owns the means of production and who does not. Most people don't own the means of production. So they are the working class. Even if they are a rich Hollywood actor, they're still working.
If they don't own the production company and they don't own the studio, they are working class. And that goes all the way down to the plumber or the Burger King.
So that's what I think this
putting the fries in the bag worker.
This one clip is about that, where he's kind of talking about how he sees the working class and you know, it's basically just, if he even says, like, if you own a small business but you go into work every day, you're still, you know,
you're still working class. Yeah.
Which is, you know, you had people like, I remember Peter Coffin trying to when was the PMC, the professional managerial class, that they would try to distinguish as being somehow, you know, like, oh, they're upper level management of some, you know, company or whatever, and it's like somehow that makes them the same thing as an executive or something. I don't know. It didn't make any sense to me.
Well, yeah, it's this, like, there's a lot of people in Peter Coffin's sphere who believe white collar workers aren't working class. And
Right.
bro, I got bad news for you.
Yeah.
Hey, you're a YouTuber. You're a white collar worker.
And I feel like I just ended up deciding that I think Peter Coffin is some kind of psyop, and maybe intentionally, I don't know, but like
I
that
don't
I think
think
Peter
I've
Coffin's
seen
just an idiot.
yeah, definitely that. I haven't seen anything he's made in like 4 years. You know, it might be I might have seen it, but maybe he's become some kind of weird lefty chud, and my chud blindness just filters him out.
he did become a kind of a lefty chud for sure. That's crazy. All right. Well, I guess we move on to talk about some good stuff now.
Yeah, let's talk some good stuff. I love good stuff.
What do we got? You had some Gundam or something?
I have some Gundam stuff, yeah. So the new Gundam movie came out in America, came out in Japan earlier this year, I believe, but it's has an obnoxiously long title because it's an anime. But it's Mobile Suit Gundam Hathaway. It's the second movie in that series. But it did something interesting that I think we've talked about on the show or on the Fabcast before, back when we did the Fabcast, and on Friday streams before too, that I thought was worth talking about, in that it deviates from the source material.
Dun dun dun.
And that is something that people who complain about the modern audience, which is to say us, will say you can't do. That's a huge sin to deviate from the source material. But this changes the story, because these movies, there's going to be 3 of them. They're an adaptation of a book the creator of Gundam wrote in the 90s. It changes the context of the story and doesn't really like change any of the material facts, but refocuses them by having what's sort of a bland encounter in the book be a thing that causes the main character, who's an eco-terrorist effectively, to flash back to this traumatic incident in his teen years. That's the crux of his character. And he's having this giant robot battle where he's flashing back to this fight he had as a teenager where he stole a giant robot and this girl he loved got killed because of his tomfoolery. And he is like, he thinks he's fighting his mentor, who is dead by this point in this flashback. And it causes him to almost lose this fight. And none of this happens in the book.
When you're fighting a giant mech.
Yeah, having it's a genuine PTSD flashback where like the animation style changes. It's disorienting for the audience. It's a really cool visual moment. None of that's in the book. And the book's just kind of okay. This elevates the whole story about like how he has not escaped his trauma. And he has not done any self-reflection. And it's ultimately going to doom his cause. And I just thought that was so cool to have this flashback and do new animation of an older movie, but also just to reframe this story about how, you know, he's doomed because of not just the system, but because he hasn't worked through his thoughts on the system and how he's just repeating the bad decisions of people he fought before.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That is pretty cool.
So yeah, and then to answer this question, I like it with a big asterisk. That asterisk is, I think, the death fake outs at the end of the first season cheapen the actual deaths of those characters in the second season.
Oh.
Yeah, we're like, so the end of the first season, they make you think at the end of like the second to last episode, all of these secondary characters are dead. And then like in the last like 3 to 4 minutes of the first season, you see they're alive. They climb out of their robots and they're alive somehow.
And
then in the second season, all of those characters then die. And it's just like, really? Really? Like, I get it. Like, a lot of people die in this show. There's a great so anime does this thing where they have like an opening song and an ending song, and every half a dozen episodes they change that song. So the first ending song is this like really sad bluesy song that fits the themes and the aesthetic of the show. And then it changes to something that's a little more upbeat in the second half of the first season. One of the main characters dies halfway, like 3/4 of the way through the first season. And he's sort of like the moral compass of these child soldiers, because they're a group of child soldiers who overthrow the adults that were enslaving them and sort of go it on their own as their own company, because all they know how to do is be child soldiers. But this one guy is like their moral compass, and he dies. And while he's dying, that first sad bluesy ending song starts playing, and the episode goes out on that, and I'm like, you son of a bitch. I hate it here. But that's such a good use of music to tell a story, and that's why I like these things. Just like using all parts of the production, the visuals, the music, the storytelling, the character relationships to create more than just good writing or bad writing or simplifying it. That like you can have a bad source material be used to make something wonderful.
Wait a minute. Are you saying that in a visual medium, things that are not people talking or people moving around, things in the shot are conveying narrative information?
Yes.
Without actually speaking words?
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Right.
That's
So it
blows my mind.
So another thing about the movie I just saw, there's a character in the book. She's the fiance of the main character, and they can't get married. The reason that he becomes a terrorist in the first place and she joins him is because she's an illegal immigrant to Earth, and so they can't get married. This book was written in the 90s for those who are like, immigration, how current fucking day us.
Yeah, I didn't think immigration was a problem back then.
Right, apparently not. But in the book, all of her monologue, like she monologues a lot about like what she's feeling, and she leaves him halfway through the story because like he is just lost in the sauce in this whole thing, and like his original motivation is of like helping her build a world where they can be together has gone out the window for him. The movie does that by her appearance changes throughout the movie. She cuts her hair. She starts, she goes and does things that are different, and most of it is just like throwaway lines or just visual cues that like, oh, she's going through something, not like having to just vomit it out in dialogue. You use the whole of the movie to tell the story of the movie.
Hell yeah.
Wow, man. Wow.
Yeah. But just after seeing a certain short piece of media, I hesitate to call a film, the other day, I just thought like talking about a movie where they use the whole movie to tell the story.
Yeah.
I figured we'd try Dr. Manhattanville here.
Oh, hey, there we go. Oh, I'm gone. Now I'm back. Now Jay Kung is just asking me about Gundam.
Well, what about you, Bob? What about Bob? Huh?
Well, I'm currently gooning over the audiobook version of Emily Wilson's translation of The Odyssey, narrated by Claire Danes, which I already had on my phone. I bought it months ago through Audible, along with her translation of the Iliad, narrated by Audra McDonald. But I hadn't gotten around to listening to it yet, and I started listening to it this week because of all of the discourse. And what
color is Helen of Troy in that audiobook?
Funny you should ask that question.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm glad you put this on the screen here. There, I haven't gotten to that point, her description in the book yet. But the thing is, Helen of Troy is a minor character in the Odyssey. So is Achilles. They are barely in the story.
They're not part of the story of the Odyssey.
Yeah.
Because the Trojan War is over.
Yeah. But I just wanted to say before we get into that, those questions, the translation is really cool because Emily Wilson, the translator, identified that most translations of the Iliad and the Odyssey that we've gotten since like the 1700s have been written in very elevated, flowery prose.
Yeah.
Due to the influence of a translator named Alexander Pope, who was, I think he's probably still the most widespread and most popular translation.
Oh, yeah.
Which makes it sound like Shakespeare, right? Or at least to modern ears. And she went back to the original Greek and, it translated the original register, which is a lot more, I don't want to say naturalistic, but more grounded and more gritty. So even though she has translated it into iambic pentameter, which is the default rhythmic verse for English, it still feels poetic, and the delivery of the dialogue sounds like soldiers would talk,
which
if
makes
soldiers
sense.
talk in poetry, right?
Right.
Because it's a story about a group of soldiers who are lost at sea and trying to get their way back home. They're war veterans, and it's just great. And Claire Danes, it's also interesting because Claire Danes is, as far as I know, she's the only woman to have narrated the Odyssey on media of any kind. Every other audio translation you listen to is going to be read by a man.
Right.
And I would argue that when it comes to the Iliad and the Odyssey, you should always go first to an audio presentation because they were epic poems. They were oral. They were meant to be spoken and aloud and listened to, not read. So her Claire Danes' narration is really cool. It's such a refreshing change, because I've listened to about a dozen different audio presentations of these two stories, and it's always a British dude.
Yeah,
Almost
always.
Because every culture throughout history was just British dudes, apparently, based on every historical.
Yeah, but listening to Claire Danes read the story I haven't quite nailed down why a female reading the story hits different for me. Not yet, anyway, because I'm only about a third of the way into it, but it really brings something to the text that makes me look at it in a whole new light. It's kind of like reading Lord of the Rings through a queer lens for the first time, or something like that. When you learn about that lens and then approach the story through that yourself, even though you're not from that community, it gives you a whole new understanding of what's going on in the text. Also, Helen of Troy was the granddaughter of Andromeda, the queen of Ethiopia, and the Greeks knew damn well what the people in Ethiopia looked
yes,
like.
they did.
Also, Achilles lived as a girl in the court of Lycomedes for a very long time, convincingly, and that wasn't the only time. Achilles regularly, in myths outside the Iliad, regularly passes convincingly as a woman for years at a time in many stories. So what Christopher Nolan's doing with his casting is like Easter eggs to other myths, and if you don't immediately get that, you're a filthy casual.
Right. It's just like, as soon as I saw that Elliot Page was going to be in this as Achilles, and I'm just like, that is the most inspired casting for
and it's not even confirmed that he is playing Achilles, nor is it confirmed that Lupita Nyong'o is playing Helen.
They're just in the movie.
Yeah, I think it would be a waste. I can see Achilles has a bigger role in the story than Helen of Troy does, but having Lupita Nyong'o play Helen of Troy in this movie would basically just be a cameo, and that's a waste of her talent.
That's
So
definitely true.
I
She's a
doubt
really
she's
good-
Unless
playing.
he's adapted in such a way that it uses her more or something like that. But
Well, we do know that it opens with the fall of Troy, which is not in the Odyssey. So he's doing like
No.
the end of the Iliad as the prologue to this movie. So she might be in that. But
That's fair.
I don't think Lupita Nyong'o is playing Helen of Troy. She's probably playing someone like Calypso
Or Kirky.
Yeah, or Kirky or somebody like that. If she's playing Calypso or Kirky, man, the Chuds are going to lose it. You think they're
gonna
mad
lose
now?
Oh God. As
Calypso-
either of those, she would fucking kill it though.
Yeah. Well,
Holy
Calypso at the beginning of the story is the one who's basically holding Odysseus in sexual bondage.
Yep.
Right.
Nice.
He
She's
ends
forced
up in
me to
that
say.
position a few times in the story.
Yeah.
But Odysseus is also the doofus who is like, I don't know, just the sirens are gonna drive our men mad. So like everyone like put this wax in your ears. Also, I want to hear them sing So Tie Me to the Fucking Mast. He's a guy. He's one of the guys of all time.
Yeah. But the discourse around the upcoming movie is really I haven't gotten interested in the movie until the last week or so. I was vaguely interested. I was like, okay,
Right.
I'm going to see it. I love the Odyssey. I'm going to see any version of it. But I wasn't like committed to really like going to see this movie until the last week or so when everybody got mad about these stupid things.
This is the thing, is like the haters' whole ecosystem is just like a free advertising for me. It's like, oh, they're mad about this thing. I bet it's going to be great, and then it's great.
Yeah.
They can't help but be wrong.
Yep.
Because like I know they were mad about The Boys, but like several people now I've been like, oh, The Boys was great. I don't know what you're talking about.
yeah, well, yeah, they're like yeah. I mean, let's be real. Some of the guys that typically come up with it whenever we're talking about this stuff, they're not mad about anything. They're trying desperately to get something that's gonna get them back in the good graces of the algorithm, right?
I think they're mad about something. They're just not telling you what they're actually mad about.
Right. They're mad that their numbers are down. They're mad. The problem is they haven't had another Last Jedi.
Well, they're mad that white people are going to be a minority in this country by 2045.
There's that
That's what they're actually mad about.
Yeah.
And they know they can't stop that from happening. So they're trying to burn it all down before we get there.
Yep. Or yeah, but at the same time, while creating conditions where they just will be able to maintain any kind of power that's there is to have. And
now I have bought that audiobook, Bob. Thank you for that.
Nice.
I was just like, I need a new audiobook.
The introduction is dense.
Oh, I bet.
It's like 3 hours of the 3 hours of, I think 3 hours of that audiobook is just the introduction.
Jesus Christ.
Which you can skip, you can obviously just skip that if you want to. It's all like
it's the
really
scholarship?
technical stuff. It's scholarship, yes.
Oh, Bob.
But if you want to experience the story, you can just skip ahead.
I also want the technical stuff.
Yeah.
Why would I skip that? It seems unholy.
I mean,
because the reason you'd skip it is that you want to get to Claire Danes' actual performance of the story.
I do, but I
which
also
is great.
I want to have my full nerd experience.
Yeah.
Jay Kung, that makes a lot of sense, considering it originally was like no white people.
Right. Well, that's the whole country.
Well, I mean, but Texas was especially, it was just
right,
Mexico.
yeah.
It was just Mexico.
It was just Mexico.
About half the U.S. was once just Mexico.
True.
Geographically speaking.
Yeah.
Why do you think there's so many Spanish names in the Southwest?
We don't have time to get into it tonight, but I did want to just say something and throw something out here real quick. Sure. I watched a video that gave me, unironically, I gained some, it's not anything I will act on, and it doesn't change my ultimate analysis of the man or anything, but I get why Alex Jones is the way he is. I mean, I don't think so when you look back, I'm from Austin, or not from Austin, but I moved there when I was in my early 20s and stuff. So I consider myself from there.
Sure.
And I remember, my experience with InfoWars being that I started seeing stickers around all over like light posts and shit like that at stop signs. I was like, InfoWars, what the fuck does that mean? And to a lesser extent, Prison Planet, which is that other guy. But they're in league.
Paul Joseph Watson.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah. Whatever happened to him?
Huh?
Whatever happened to him?
I think he just kind of sucks, and so people didn't, I don't know. Maybe that one time that H Bomber guy debunked him so thoroughly that nobody could take him seriously anymore. Which I think was maybe my first kind of bread tube video ever, was that H Bomber guy.
Does that one?
Where he talked about the soy and everything, like fucking. I was like, oh my god,
man,
he's using science to fucking make this guy look stupid. This is amazing.
Yeah, his soy video was the first H Bomber guy video I ever watched, was the soy one, and that thing was fucking brilliant.
Really good. And then of course punctuated every once in a while by him just tearing through the wall, which is like, I don't know why this is happening, but I love it.
Foreshadowing is a literary technique.
No, but like, Alex Jones, he was in the movie Waking Life, which came out in like, I think 2004, which is a rotoscopic animated film by Richard
I
Linklater.
remember that. Yeah, Art Bell was in that too, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And
that's a name I haven't heard in a long time.
And Keanu Reeves, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, no, you're thinking of the one he did after that, which was the adaptation of A Scanner Darkly.
Oh, right.
Oh.
Which is also a very good movie from memory. Maybe it's not as good as I remember it, but it was definitely a cool, novel thing. That, hey, dogs.
There's a lot of good dick pics out there.
Nonetheless, that's true. So Alex Jones started out with for one thing, in hindsight, there are some things that we can look at and Alex Jones used to say and used to be on about that everybody dismissed him, including myself, about. And now we're kind of like, oh, wait, he was onto something there. You know what I mean? Like
he was appropriating something.
But I don't think he was. So I think that at a certain point he started huffing his own flies or started to smell his own farts. But I mean, like, I think he got a little bit too full of himself whenever he confirmed that the Bohemian Grove is a real thing. And then, he just kind of like let his imagination run with what was really happening there, I think. And then from there, and because that was successful for him, and made him, a name for him, he just kind of kept going down that road. But like, I don't know, I watched this video and it just kind of went back to his origins and stuff. And it's like, I can see a different version of his life where like he came out a different guy and like was like on the right side of things. And it's kind of bizarre to realize that, that, we all make our choices and we all,
there's some parallel universe where Alex Jones isn't.
Right. Like this could be the anomaly, and maybe he is just like a truly great guy in every other reality.
He's Zoran Mandani in every other timeline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somehow
that's what I've always thought about Alex Jones and people like him, is that it's not that the for lack of a better word, the conspiracy they're pointing at isn't real. It's that they misunderstand what's going on. Like the Bohemian Grove guys, the problem there is not that they're like dancing naked around an owl or whatever the fuck they're doing. It's that they are planning the world economy.
Yeah.
At the expense of the rest of us. That,
but I mean, he would talk about that kind of thing. So that was something it wasn't just that they were doing some kind of immoral, shit at the party. He understood and he talked about that. So like, it is kind of, it's weird. Just if you were to see some of these clips, I think it was jarring to me to realize that he was just saying some legit stuff. He talked about Epstein way back in the day. He talking about Epstein and the pedophile ring, but it's like that was one of those things that sounded kind of crazy. Like, who's this Epstein guy? He's got a Jewish name too. You know what I mean? So that's easy to fucking dismiss. At least that's what what I probably would have done if I would have heard him say that. Like, he's talking about Jewish.
That's what I did. Yeah. Like I experienced genuine ontological shock when the scope of the Epstein thing finally, and we still haven't seen the full scope of it, but like when we started to get a hint of just how big this really is, it was like I was like, oh God, Alex Jones was right.
You have to shuffle your perspective a little bit whenever you really start taking some of this stuff in. It's like,
anyway, Harrison James, it was me who said this, and I stand by it. Yeah, Alex Jones would make a hell of a voice actor.
It's true.
He was.
If he had-
So in that Waking Life segment, I'll try
Yeah.
and find that in a minute. Actually, he's playing himself basically, but he's gets arrested and he's ranting in the fucking jail cell while he's presumably drunk, and he's like literally turning red as he gets angrier. It's fucking great. But yeah, that's a cool movie. Fucking Richard Linklater, man, maybe one of the most just diversified directors, or the most diversified director ever. You ever look at his output? It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, that's a name. Like Richard Linklater is a name that I know I should know, but I can never remember any of the movies he made until
So
people
if you've
point
ever
them
seen
out.
the objectively the best romance films ever are the Before Sunrise, Before Sunset.
Yeah, those are
Ethan
great.
Hawke and Julie Delpy and stuff. Those are fucking fantastic movies, and those are all him. He also did the Boyhood movie where it's like, followed
Right.
Yeah. So there's that. He also did, he's done like a comedy with Jack Black and Will Ferrell. He's done, he didn't do School of Rock, did he? I don't know if he did.
Let's
Now,
look
listen,
up
but
his movies.
So my daughter's mother, whenever I used to be with her, whenever my daughter was held for when my daughter was born, her mom, my ex's mom, lived out in the woods outside of Austin, and her property butted up against the back of his property, and like we would be out there sometimes, and I just see people partying over there and stuff, and I'd be like, man, I bet there's some fucking actors over there. Like he's good friends with and constantly casts, people like Keanu and whoever else.
Yeah. Okay, I'm looking at his filmography here. I at least recognize the titles of all of these movies. I've seen many of them, like Suburbia, 1996.
Yep.
Hitman, 2023 with Glenn Powell. Fast Food Nation, 2006.
Yep. He's done.
Yeah, he's made a lot of Waking Life, Scanner Darkly. He's made a lot of a diverse range of movies.
I don't think he has like Dazed and Confused is definitely the first one that I remember seeing and being like, that was a fan of that. When I was a kid.
Slacker, yeah.
Yep.
Yes, he did make School of Rock. Yeah, okay. Which is a great movie. I love that movie. Before Sunset, yeah. Dazed and Confused, Before Sunrise, yeah. Okay, so yeah, he's
pretty impressive.
He's made some great movies.
Underappreciated guy, I think.
Yeah, I don't like romance movies, and those two movies, Before Sunrise and Before Sunset, are just fucking phenomenal.
Yep, I think there's 4 of them now. I don't think I think I maybe saw the 3rd one. I definitely didn't see the 4th one, but like, and he'll revisit them every few years, like decade or something almost sometimes, and it's like you get to see these 2 characters as they play by the same actors, and they've gone on and lived lives, and now they come back together for a night or whatever. It's wild. Well, what else?
Water.
I got nothing.
I got some stuff. I'm just looking for it.
Absolute Green Arrow came out. That's a horror comic. Well, I mean, it's
okay.
the Absolute line, so it's a horror comic because that's how the Absolute line is. But it's
Yeah.
good.
I haven't read it yet, but I'm going to, since Oliver Queen is objectively the best superhero in DC Comics.
I don't think it's him though.
I got bad news about.
It's definitely not. I know what happened to Absolute Oliver Queen, and unless they're bringing some kind of weird magic into his story, which would be fine, it's not Oliver Queen.
He's
But
been dead before.
the pitch I read for the story is that it seems like the protagonist of the story is Black Canary,
Yes.
who's investigating the Green Arrow murders. There's a serial killer murdering billionaires with arrows.
It's very neo-noir. It's very
Well, so there's some weird stuff going on there. So in a recent issue of Superman that I read, Absolute Superman, so Lex Luthor is just a regular ass, really
just a guy.
Family guy. He doesn't, he's not interested in anything outside of his family, and somebody shows up there and is basically like, well, this doesn't work. We got to do something about this. And from what I can tell, I didn't read the next issue, but it seems like the next thing that was going to happen is that person was going to slaughter his family in front of him to try to motivate him, I guess, to be evil. I don't know. It's weird.
I'm curious to see where that story is. Yeah, it's Absolute Superman. Yeah.
Okay.
It drops that story kind of right afterwards, and goes back to what Kal-El is doing, and that's with they introduce King Shazam. Who's very interesting.
Yeah.
Because it is not Billy Batson.
Yeah. I was really interested. I loved Absolute Superman making his nemesis Ra's al Ghul.
Oh,
that was an interesting choice.
So inspired.
Yeah.
I really loved the follow-up of that whole thing where he did you see that, Morgan, where how he handled Ra's al Ghul being in prison?
Yeah.
And he's like going and visiting to him and reading to him from like the journals of children that had died or something like that.
Yeah.
And just like trying to get through to him and you know, it's
peak Superman behavior.
I mean, that is the most I don't know, it would, if I didn't know better, I would think that that's like being petty, but he's not. He's like just sincerely trying to
like get through to him.
Get through this guy's a human being.
Yeah, and that's what I really like about the Absolute line, because when they first announced it, I was like, oh god, they're gonna make them all edgelords, but they didn't.
They didn't. No,
they kept Absolute Superman is Superman. Like his morality is the same.
Superman in some way.
So I just caught up on Absolute Batman.
Yeah.
Killer
Croc's story.
I haven't gotten that far yet.
I mean, yeah, that was his best friend. They were buds. You know, whenever I remember, because I've read through some of it now, where you see where he got, you know, Waylon gets kidnapped, right?
Yeah.
He gets taken to Ark M, and then Batman spends some time in there himself, trying to get out. It's fucking crazy the setup they have there. And he basically he ends up encountering Waylon again. Now he's Killer Croc, and they kind of do a team up. It's cool.
They take down.
He's riding Killer Croc. It's like, holy shit, Scott Snyder, you're insane, dude.
it only gets crazier because like we've been introduced to the Bat family, only they're not the Bat family.
What are they?
Well, there's the Robins, which is the corporate sponsored superhero team to take down the Batman.
Oh dear. So everything has like every element is almost like has a degree of every normal Batman element is like kind of twisted to be
twisted, yeah.
Yeah.
But so there's a two-parter. I think it's one part's in Wonder Woman, one part's in Batman, where they meet up. They meet for the first time. And he helps her with something, and she's like, "Well, if you need something from me, I will help you do that thing." And so he is immediately like, "My best friend is a fucking lizard monster. What can we do about this?" And so they go on an adventure to find a solution to that, and get this Greek magical talisman that will let Waylon be something else besides Killer Croc. And he goes to the Riddler, who is also one of Batman's childhood friends. And all of his friends have disconnected because of what Bane did to them. And Waylon is trying to, like, get Batman's rogues gallery together to be the Bat family. It's so good.
The Absolute Batman, what I've read of it so far is really terrific.
I did not see they revealed Absolute Clayface. Oh, Absolute Scarecrow's a motherfucker, though. Holy
I want to point out too that those Absolute books, especially Batman, but all of them, I think, are doing fucking numbers.
Oh yeah,
like, insane numbers that comics haven't done, like American superhero comics have not done in quite some time.
No,
yeah. I just saw an interview with I think it was with Scott Snyder, where he said they have an amazing pitch for Absolute Swamp Thing, which I'm really intrigued to see, and an amazing pitch for Absolute John Constantine.
Ooh.
Or Absolute Hellblazer, I guess it would be.
Yeah.
And a pretty good pitch for Absolute Aquaman. And I was like reading that going, I can't think of what Absolute John Constantine would be except a normal dude.
Just a guy. Well, we got Absolute Zatanna in Wonder Woman. God, the Absolute line is so... If you're not reading the Absolute line, go out and do that. However you have to do that. But it is genuinely some of the best books I have read. Not just comics in a long time.
Will?
Well, on that note.
Yeah, on that note, I guess I don't know. I might want to stream tomorrow. I don't know if you guys want to jump on. You're welcome to. But
Yeah, if I'm see what I'm up to, but yeah.
I don't want to talk about it. I'm just tired tonight, so.
It's late. Yeah, it's what 10:30 where you guys are at?
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, that's like a human bedtime for humans, which I am.
That's close to my normal bedtime throughout the rest of the week because you know I'm
Yeah.
dinner probably
9 to 5-er. Yeah.
Yeah, you're a human.
I do have a cover song that I did that corresponds. I said there was a theme of disillusionment. I have a cover song that I recorded, and then also another one that's my song that I could play. So I'm gonna play both of those as we get off of here. We'll say goodbye, and then I'll just let those play. And anybody wants to stay around and listen to them, you're welcome to do that. The first one is going to be a Perfect Circle cover song called "Illusioned," and it was hard. It was fucking hard to do. Subscribe to Bob of the Old Way. Subscribe to Armchair Karate Guy. Is that what it is? Karate Guy?
Yes,
No.
Armchair
Black Belt.
Like it says on the icon, yes.
Oh.
Reading
Yeah.
the thing describes the thing.
Here's this.
Donald.
Who's in here? Don't worry, Donald. It's me, your best friend, Jeffrey Epstein.
Jeffrey, but I thought you were dead.
I am, remember? I killed myself. Wink! So, how you doing, Donnie, baby?
We have been overrun by our animals. The Perfect Circle song is not working for some reason, so I'm just going to go to the other one. Sorry.
Back in the day, I'd isolate, hide from the falling skies and wait, lapse into an altered state. But I learned the hardest way, there's no escape, and I can't bring myself to turn away. What if the rebels and renegades never arrive? What if the hero we've waited for our whole lives takes a dive? Oh, it's just another day, it ends in white. Just another doomsday gone. How can I rest assured when the tension and oceans rise? How can we come together when we're choosing different sides? How can we even begin to heal when the cynics are bleeding us dry? Divided we stand against a sinister design. What if the rebels and renegades never arrive? Or what if the hero we've waited for all our lives takes a dive? It's just another day asleep. Oh, the rabbit hole is way too deep. The war is rising, but it never recedes. I can't bring myself to look away. Oh, shame to say it, I wish I could. Say that I wish I could close my eyes and my heart for good. Yeah, I'm ashamed to say that I wish I could close my eyes and mind and heart for good. What if the rebels and renegades were here the whole time? What if the hero we waited for was you or I? Oh, just another day ending in wine. It's just another doomsday gone by. We're still alive.
And that concludes our existence.